Hi there everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is part 3 of Codex Adeptus Astartes Space Marines review. We're going to do the other loyal legions today, so if you haven't seen the other parts, which I'd recommend going back to first because we go through some weapons and things like that, which I'll skip through now because we've already talked about them, and you know, other reasons it's good to start from the beginning. What we've done is we've done the special named characters, warlord traits, chapter tactics, and relics for Dawn's successors and for the Ultramarines as well, and their successors. So the third part is going to focus on the last sort of group, which is the other loyal legions. So the Iron Hands, Salamanders, White Scars, and a Raven Guard. So go through their characters, their chapter tactics, relics, etc., and show you all them. As I said in the previous videos, just as a note, the reason I've broken this up like this is because I thought it would be a good idea to let you guys, especially if you know what chapter you're going to collect, be able to watch a video based around them. So instead of me saying I'll do special characters and then just taking them in order, and you don't know when there's going to be an Ultramarine or you don't know when there's going to be an Imperial Fist, you could just see in the video title it says Imperial Fists or Dawn Successors, which you know who I mean. And you can come straight to the video, so do let me know whether you think that's a good idea. Makes it easier for you guys to find. So, because I haven't done that before, so I find that quite interesting. Okay, so let's get a special named characters first. So here they are. The first one is Kasara Khan, so a White Scar. His movement is 6 inches, so I presume he's not on his bike to start with. Oh, if he is on a bike, no, he is on foot, isn't he? Yeah, he's on foot. I'm just so used to White Scars being on bikes. So, weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, strength, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, legion 9, and 3+ save. So, nice stat line. Pretty solid. He's got Moonfang, a bolt pistol, and frag and crack grenades. So we covered bolt pistols and frag and crack grenades. So straight to Moonfang. It's a melee weapon. Strength of the user, strength 4, so it's not amazing. AP -3, which is good. Damage D3, which is good. The weapon is strength ×2 if the target's a character, so it becomes strength 8. So aiming him towards characters is certainly a bonus if you can. It does make sense because obviously the Khans obviously settle vendettas and things like that for the White Scars, so that makes a lot of sense that he would be like that. He has a Nation on No Fear, Rites of Battle, which is you can reroll hit rolls of 1 made for friendly White Scars units within 6 inches of Khan. So that's quite nice, you know, it gives you a bit of reliability. So all kind of captain level guys have that. Iron Halo, so 4% vulnerable, which is pretty important because he's only got 3+ saves, so that's pretty important that he's got that. And add 1 to the strength of friendly White Scars units within 6 inches of Kasara Khan when they attack in the fight phase if they charge that turn. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's quite subjective. They go within 6 inches and they've got to charge that turn. So really what that is add 1 to the strength of the unit that's with Kasara Khan when he charges, or, you know, I mean, in the vicinity. I know they don't join units so much anymore, but in that vicinity, the unit you're going to put him with is more what that is. So that's cool though. That still makes them strength 5 that turn, which is, you know, a big thing. Or if they're Terminators with Thunderhammers, they become strength 10 rather than strength 8. So that does add up, so that's not too bad. I wouldn't say anything too inspiring from Kasara Khan, but nothing you know, nothing bad either. I'd just like to see maybe reroll hits against characters or something to really push you to go after them. How many points is he? But he is only 107 points, so he is very cheap. Considering he's got a decent weapon, a decent stat line, and these like little rules here, I can't see any problem taking him for 107 points, especially if you want to be fluffy as a White Scar player and take your own character. He's pretty good. So now on to the Salamanders, to Vulcan Heston. He is movement 6 inches, weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, strength, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, legion 9, and a 2+ save rather than 3+. So that's the only difference between him and Khan is he has a 2+ save. He has the Gauntlet of the Forge, the Spear of Vulcan, bolt pistol, frag and crack grenades. So the Gauntlet of the Forge is basically a heavy flamer, 8 inches, assault D6, strength 5, AP -1, damage 1, auto hits. So kind of basic stuff. Spear of Vulcan's good though. The Spear of Vulcan is +2 strength, so you'll be striking at strength 6, which is good. AP -2, which is good enough. And D3 damage, which is obviously a little unpredictable, but it's pretty good. He's got 4 attacks, so hitting on 2s and wounding a lot of people on 3s, so pretty good. And they show no fear. Rites of battle, so the reroll hits of 1 made for friendly salamander units within 6 inches. He has a 3+ invulnerable save, so he's a tough cookie to crack. You know, he's toughness 4, which isn't amazing. Oh, it's just sort of standard, really. 5 wounds, which is good, but obviously a lot of chapter masters are on 6-7. But when you've got a 2+ save and a 3+ invulnerable, he's quite a tough nut to crack. Then Forge Father. So you can reroll failed hit and wound rolls for friendly salamander mortals within 6 inches of Volcaneston when using melter or flame weapons. So anything that includes the word melter or includes the word flame. So it does include flamestorm cannons now, which is really cool. So those land raiders you might start to see a little bit more in salamander armies, which is really cool. His Gauntlet of the Forge is also counted as a flame weapon. So this is a really powerful rule if you use it right. To reroll failed hit and wound rolls for flame and melter, and it's within 6 inches of Forge Father, but that could be 2 or 3 units as we've said before. But the main thing is that you get both sides of it. You get hits and wounds with flame and melter. Previously it's been reroll hits with a melter, reroll wounds with flamer, which is still cool, but flamers weren't as good in the old rules. They're still not incredible now, but they weren't very good in the old rules, and it didn't include the flame storm. So everyone went melter, which was really cool, you know, but again, that reroll wound on melters made that much better. So Volcaneston's actually pretty tough in combat. He's pretty good himself, but that rule is awesome, especially as also the units within 6 inches will also be rerolling hits of 1 in combat and shooting other weapons like bolt guns. So he makes the units around him so reliable. He has quite a few points. He has 154. I know it's not that much, but obviously characters have gone down, like I say, in the current rules. Like Chaplain Cassius is 98 points. He's not even 100 points. So they have gone down a little bit. But 154 every day. If you're a Salamander player, like I am, although my army's nowhere near ready yet, you have to have Volcaneston. Assuming you can afford him, or you don't just want to do something different, which I would understand, because a lot of people are going to take him. For 154 points, he is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So he is top notch. You've then got Shrike, who's now the chapter master of the Raven Guards. He's had a promotion, which is pretty funky for him. So he's got a movement of 12 because he's got his jump pack. Weapon skill ballistical 2+, strength toughness 4, 5 wounds, 5 attacks. So he's got an extra attack, which is nice. Leadership 9 and a 3+ save. He comes armed with the Raven's Talons, frag and crack grenades. So frag and crack grenades are done. Raven's Talon. Strength for the user, so strength 4, but AP -3, damage D3, and you do reroll wounds. So pretty nice weapon. He's basically got a power weapon with D3 damage and rerolling wounds. So that's not too bad. He has got 5 attacks as well, so that's pretty good. They show no fear. He has the Chapter Master rule, which is reroll failed hit rolls for friendly units within 6 inches. So that's combat and shooting. So that's good. Wing Deliverance. You can reroll failed charge rolls for friendly Raven Guard jump pack units within 6 inches. So again, you could have Vanguard Vets or Assault Marines or a mix of the two with Shrike in the middle. And so he'll affect both units with his reroll hits and his reroll charge as well, which is, you know, pretty good. Normally reroll charge is a bit of a, I don't know, just average rule. It's not bad, obviously, but it's never like, oh yes, reroll charge. But when you are running, you know, multiple jump pack units, they have to get to combat, otherwise they're just going to get shot up. So actually, it's pretty useful, really. You could even use them with the new Primaris Inceptors, for instance, and jump along the board, shooting people and then charge in. So there's a 4% vulnerable save, which is nice because he's only got power armor on, so that helps him out a little bit. And jump pack assault, so basically he can come down as long as you're more than 9 inches away. So cool. So he's pretty good. Cavern Shrike is 150. I think it's actually a little expensive at 150 because that's the same price as Volcaneston. And you look at Volcaneston's rules and the fact he's a better fighter and more survivable. I would say that actually a little expensive, but what I would say is he is probably worth taking because he's a really cool model, cool character, but also because if you do use him with a couple of Assault Marine squads, the reroll failed hit rolls, which obviously Volcaneston doesn't give you, he gets you rerolls 1s because he's not a chapter master unlike Shrike, and the reroll charges means that's actually really effective. So used the right way, very effective. Used maybe out on a limb a little bit, he's a bit expensive perhaps. Okay. So that's pretty cool. So they're the characters. I think Heston's the best, but I think Khan and Shrike are worth their points if they're in the right situation. So that, it's good to see that you're pretty happy with the characters. None of them seem, especially when they've only got one character, like the Ultramarines got like 5 or 6, and the Blood Angels got 5 or 6. When you've only got one, it's really gutting if they're rubbish, or just wildly overpointed, or blah 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 blah, etc. It doesn't happen a lot, but occasionally you get that character, and you're just like, oh, what a shame when we've only got one character. If it's the Ultramarines, you can just not take him and take the others. So there we go. Chapter Tactics. So on to White Scars. So it's Lightning Assault. Whenever a White Scars unit with this tactic advances, it moves an extra 2 inches in addition to the distance rolled. So they're a bit faster, so that's fine. Bike units with Turbo Boost ability therefore move an additional 8 inches when advancing, so that's cool, so they're very quick. In addition, White Scar units with this tactic can still charge in a turn in which they fell back. Ooh, that is cool. So they can pile into combat, fight combat in the other person's turn, and then in your turn fall back out and then just charge back in. Awesome. So they'll get all the advantages for charging again. There's not as many anymore, but there are still some, and also obviously attacking first. So that really beholdens you to take a bike army, which is not a bad thing. That's what White Scars are about. So that's really good, really good. Raven Guard, Shadow Masters. Your opponent must subtract 1 from any hit rolls when shooting at Raven Guard units with this tactic if they are more than 12 inches away. Again, awesome. So your whole army is -1 to hit when they're 12 inches away. And if you're within 12 inches, you're about to charge them. So yeah, you might get one nasty shooting phase, but the rest of the time, they're at -1 to hit. It's also really nice, actually. Who do they affect? Infantry, Biker, and Dreadnought. Yeah, so, Devastator squads, if you have them in your Raven Guard, or Dreadnoughts, that maybe sit at the back and give you a bit of fire support. They're basically going to be -1 to hit for the whole game. So that's really cool. And then the Salamanders, Master Artisans. You can reroll a single failed hit roll and a single failed wound roll made for a Salamander's unit with this tactic each time it shoots or fights. That's like mega master crafted, which is Master Artisans. Very appropriate. That's awesome as well. All of them are brilliant and really fluffy. They're all really fluffy, but they're all really good. -1 to hit 12 inches away is brilliant. Lets you absorb that firepower before you get to combat. Running away and charging and moving faster suits the White Scars brilliantly. And Master Artisans to re-roll a failed hit roll and a single failed wound roll made for a Salamander's unit's tactic each time it shoots or fights. So you could have a Devastator squad with 4 last cannons. Oh, 3 hit, 1 misses, re-roll, they all hit. It's 2s to wound. Oh, 1 doesn't wound, right, I'll just re-roll that. It doesn't say it has to be the same weapon or it can't be the same weapon or whatever. God, that makes them reliable. Drop pod melter unit. Bam. 5 people out with melters or however many melters you can fit in the squad now. Shooting. Oh, a couple miss, reroll 1 of them. Cool. 2 of them don't wound the tank. Oh, reroll 1 of them. Now they do. That's wicked. That is so good. That's so good. And obviously I'm picking out really good examples, but even like basic examples like bolt guns. Just shooting bolt guns. It's just get that 1 extra hit or that 1 extra wound, just making your enemy make more saves. They're going to fail them sooner or later. That's awesome. I love their chapter tactics, all 3 of them. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but they seem epic. And again, very fluffy. Real thing I've seen with this codex so far is it's really fluffy. The rules are good, but they're all kind of fluffy. They're not, oh, let's just give them this awesome thing because, people don't want to collect them then, or, whatever. Okay, so to go on to the stratagems. Flamecraft. So it's 1 command point. It's the Salamander one, as you might guess from the name. Use the stratagem just before a Salamander unit attacks in the shooting phase. Add 1 to the wound rolls made for all the unit's flame weapons. Again, anything with flame in the title. So flame, storm cannon, flamers, heavy flamers. Again, brilliant if you're ambushing someone perhaps. You drop in, they're only strength 4, but so you're winning on 4s, but now you're winning on 3s, or you're winning on 5s, now you're winning on 4s. Things like that. If you could ambush a monstrous creature, because you're normally winning on 5s, but all of a sudden now you're winning on 4s, you could pump up a lot of wounds. So that's cool, 1 command point for that, so that's a nice little bonus. Especially when combined with Vulcan Heston, with him giving you reroll hits and reroll wounds, and then you're adding 1 to wounds as well. That's good, okay, that's cool, awesome. Let's have a look at the Iron Hands thing. So this is the first thing we've come across, is it? Oh no, they've got a chapter tactic. Right, I'm going to go do the Iron Hands chapter tactic in a moment. I apologise, Iron Hand fans, I apologise. We will do both of theirs together in a second. So, Strike from the Shadows, 1 command point, which is Raven Guard stratagem. Use the stratagem when you can set up a Raven Guard infantry unit during deployment. You can set up the unit in the shadows instead of placing it on the battlefield. At the beginning of the first battle round, but before the first turn begins, the unit emerges from the hiding place. Set them up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. So that sounds like, oh, you can just kind of deep strike them like normal. But it says at the beginning of the first battle round, but before the first turn. So you have the first turn, you can set up 9 inches away and then assault someone. That's wicked. So you just put Shrike with his ultimate like Vanguard veteran unit of Doom. Right, put them there. My turn. I've just eaten your unit. That's really cool. But it's not game breaking because you can only do it once really. You know, you can literally do it once, can't you? Because it's a stratagem which you can only use once per phase, and you have to do it before the game starts. So basically, yeah, you do it once. Awesome. Again, really fluffy. That's so cool. That's so cool. I love that. So who else are we looking for? We're looking for White Scars. Where's the White Scars one? Ah, there it is. Born in the Saddle, 1 command point. Use the stratagem when a White Scars biker unit advances. That unit can still shoot and charge this turn. Again, brilliant. 1 command point, and you can now move, advance, shoot and charge in a turn. Again, put that on your big bike unit around Kasari Khan. Shoot them up the board, shoot the sniper out of something, charge something else. Probably first turn. That's cool. Okay, so we're going to go back to the Iron Hands. I apologise, Iron Hand fans. The reason I forgot about them, because I actually really like the Iron Hands, is purely because they've got no characters. For some reason still, the Iron Hands have no characters, which is really bizarre. I know they did that Clan Rauken book, but obviously that's specifically Clan Rauken, so it'd been really nice to see an Iron Hand character. But anyway, the Flesh is Weak is their chapter tactic. Roll a dice each time an Iron Hands model this tactic loses a wound. On a 6th, it's ignored. Doesn't sound great, but how many wounds do you take in a game? It says Iron Hand model, so obviously it's an infantry biker or dreadnought. Say you got 30 infantry in your army, 5 bikers and a couple of dreadnoughts, so you got like 37 units. They've got to kill them all, so you should have rolled 6 6s by then, even if they all have 1 wound. Some of them are going to be Primaris, dreadnoughts have got like 8 wounds, so you're probably going to roll like 12 6s. So you're forcing, and obviously it could come at an epic moment, like you're saving your chapter master, last man alive to win the game, and you roll a 6, which would be awesome. But obviously, just by the sheer odds, you're going to force your opponent to do 12, 13, 14 more wounds a turn. The only negative with that one is random. With the White Scars, Raven Guard, and Salamanders, you can plan how it's going to work, whereas that's just randomly when do I roll a 6. But it is still better than it sounds. So that is still very good. It's still above average. It's just not maybe quite as predictable as the others. But one day you are going to get shot. Your Terminators are going to get shot. They're going to do 5 wounds. You're just going to roll 5 6s and go, nope, don't think so. So it is going to be cool. Right, the Iron Hands stratagem is 1 command point, Machine Empathy. Use the stratagem before an Iron Hands vehicle attacks in the shooting phase. This is going to be good, I can just tell. Until the end of the phase, the vehicle can ignore penalties for moving and firing a heavy weapon or for advancing and firing an assault weapon. Awesome, so if you need a vehicle to be on the move, like a Land Raider, etc., it doesn't care that it's moved, or it doesn't care that it's advanced if you're firing an assault weapon. So that's cool. And you could do that a few times a game, you know, in the shooting phase. You could, because there's only 1 command point, you might have 8 or 9 in your army, and you can just drop them. Again, I wouldn't say it's as good as probably the others. It's pretty close though. It's probably as good as Flamecraft, but Born in the Saddle, but especially Strike in the Shadows are probably the best. They're awesome. Cool, so we're on to Warlord traits. So Warlord traits, White Scars, Deadly Hunter. Roll a dice each time your Warlord finishes a charge move within 1 inch of an enemy unit. On a 4+, the unit suffers a mortal wound. Okay, that's not too bad though, because you're going to go in and out, aren't you, with your chapter tactic. But it's not great. Even if you charge 3 times, like 6 times a game, you're still only going to deal out 3 more wounds. So it's okay. It's okay. It's maybe good if you're charging a monstrous creature that's got a certain amount of wounds, and each more wounds a big difference, perhaps, but nothing special. Salamanders, Anvil of Strength. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of your warlord. It's not too bad, especially if he's got a ×2 strength weapon, because that'll make them strength 10. And I do know there's a salamander item that gives you toughness, +1 toughness. So you can make your warlord, if they're Primaris, strength and toughness 6, I think. So that's pretty cool. Raven Guard, enemy units can't fire or overwatch your warlord. Cool, yeah, so he charges in, can't be overwatched. Nice. And Iron Hands, Merciless Logic. Each time you roll a hit of a 6 for your warlord, make 1 extra attack at the same target using the same weapon. That's cool, so that's in combat as well. Yeah, so on a 6 you get bonus shooting and close combat attacks. All of them are pretty good. All of them are pretty good, nothing wrong with any of them. The White Scars one's a bit unpredictable, to be fair, but the Salamander's, Raven Guard and Iron Hand ones are really good. Finally, we're just going to run through the relics. So, for the White Scars, Mantle of the Stormseer. So it's Psyker only. The wearer of the mantle adds 1 to their psychic test when attempting to manifest Smite. It's free, so take it, like all the relics are, but nothing particularly special. Do you want to cast Smite? Do you not want to cast Smite? It only adds 1. It's not like it adds 3, so you don't want to do Smite, because you're going to do Smite once a turn anyway. So you might not really want to do that much, but it's basically guaranteed power every turn, which would be really cool. So yeah, it's okay, nothing particular. The Salamander's Mantle, this is the one. So Salamander's models only, the wearer has +1 toughness. So Primaris Salamanders are going to be brick if you have a character. Raven's Fury, Raven Guard jump pack model only. The bearer of the Raven's Fury can advance and charge in the same turn. Furthermore, the bearer can reroll failed charge rolls. So that's really cool. If you don't want Shrike or you want a second hero, that means they kind of do a small version of what Shrike does with the reroll failed charges, and they can advance and charge. So that's cool. Raven's Fury is cool. And the Axe of Medusa. Iron Hands model with Power Axe only. The Axe of Medusa replaces the bearer's Power Axe as the following profile. +2 strength, AP -3, damage 2. Which again, considering it's free, is pretty good. There'll be strength 6, AP -3, damage 2. Which would be nice as long as you've got enough attacks. You'll do plenty of damage. Awesome, so that's the other Loyal Legions done. Like I've said with the other 2 parts, if you haven't already seen them, let me know what you think in the comments of the rules. Let me know if you collect the armies, how are you going to use those rules, what kind of like tactics are you thinking of using. Let me know what you think of what I've said. You know, do you think I'm more or less on the button with, or do you think I've underrated something or overrated something perhaps? And let you know what you think of the Space Marine Codex. And you know, the quality of it looks brilliant, by the way, it really does. Please like and subscribe. Let me know you're enjoying the videos by subscribing so I can keep doing them. We're going to move on next time, I think, to psychic powers and the basic warlock traits, the ones we haven't covered, that are, and maybe highlight a few really good stratagems that are generic. There's a lot of them, so I'm not going to go through all of them, but maybe pick out 4 or 5 that are really good, and I'll go through them with you all next time. So until then, guys, have a great day, and I will talk to you all soon.